So the theme for October is Rebuild the Temple. It's so interesting to me because at the beginning of every year, I sit with the energy that is coming through for each month, and I just listen. And Rebuild the Temple came through for October, and when it came through and I wrote it down, I thought, wow, that is just fascinating. What could this be about? What could this possibly mean? Is it going to mean something about a house I didn't know I was moving yet? Is it going to mean something about traveling to a sacred site? I didn't know yet. And I'm realizing now that we're approaching October, what Rebuild the Temple really means for me is rebuilding that connection to the body as a sacred place of worship, to the body as living within the soul, and the soul holding the body, and the soul coming to the body to worship, to unite. And rebuilding the temple, what does that mean? I think it has something to do with an outlook and an understanding that while it's so amazing to travel to different sacred sites and something I personally love to do, and just feel the energy of these places where so many people have come to worship and to celebrate. And while it's so amazing to gather together with people in a space, outdoor or indoor, with a common shared sense of divinity, really the body as a place of worship is the first temple, maybe the first temple that we ever experience as our souls find a home to rest. And rebuilding it, it's about an outlook, it's an understanding. My soul has come into my body at this time to rest, to find a place to worship, to connect to all that is sacred and all that is meaningful. Rebuild the temple. I also find that it's so incredibly interesting how we have these places of stretched skin on the sides of our head that are called temples. And when we are stressed, when we are worried, when we are in need of healing, we go and we touch this place. We touch the temple and we rub. And when we have pain in the head from too much time spent in the intellect and not enough time spent in the intuition, we feel that pain going into the temple. You know, it's really interesting because pain to me is awareness. The pain that we experience is awareness, whether it's emotional pain or physical pain. Pain is a great bringer of awareness. It's pay attention to this place. Pay acute attention to this place. So when I think about my clients who suffer from migraines or who just are constantly getting a pain in the head from maybe tension in the jaw or whatever that might be, I wonder if it isn't a calling to return to the temple within, to pay more attention to the nourishing of the spiritual life, to pay more attention to the connection to divinity. I wonder if that pain that comes, or even that stress that comes when we've spent too much time in the material, when we've spent too much time worrying, when we've been fighting for too long, I wonder if to touch this place is a way for us to really access that inner temple. And I also love how this area is so close to the ears. It's almost as if when we connect to this place, we're able to really hear and listen to the inner voice. And perhaps worry, perhaps stress, perhaps pain is us not listening enough to our inner voice. It's a hard one to hear because before the inner voice, we have the inner critic. And the inner critic is really, really tricky. The inner critic is really, really manipulative, actually. And it's an aspect of our ego. The ego's job is to keep us small, to keep us safe. And so when we're about to do something really big, maybe it's tell someone you love that you love them, we have the inner critic coming up, giving us all these really, really pragmatic reasons to not do the big thing. And it's interesting because if we can catch ourselves in that moment when we're listening to the inner critic and go, okay, thank you for sharing, inner critic, but I want to hear from my inner voice. I want to hear from my soul voice. I want to listen to what's there. Then we're able to really, really hear the inner voice. So I want to give you a practice, and it could be a practice that you work with the whole month, or it could be a practice that just doesn't really resonate with you at all, which is also fine. But I want to invite you to take your fingertips to your temples. And I want to invite you to just tune in to how this feels. As if you're sending the energy of spaciousness into the temples. And then I want you to also imagine that this place, just touching this place, is a place where you go to worship. It's in between the eyes and the ears, the clairvoyance, the clairaudience, the second sight, the inner voice. Connecting to these two places where the divine can really speak to us. I want to invite you to connect to the sound of the ocean, the womb temple of all of earthly creation, by humming the sound M, sound of bees' wings. The sound we were hearing when we were within our mother's womb. So keep doing that, moving the sound M around for however long you have, and then just silence. Just silence, just listening. Just seeing with your eyes closed. Listening to what's beyond the inner critic. And these temples, these sides of the head, they're like a doorway into the temple of the entire body. And you've entered the door. And you're consciously listening to everything within and around the whole body. Corners of the temple that maybe need a little cleaning, a little love. Connecting to the heart as the altar of the temple. Seeing yourself bringing a big bouquet of flowers to this heart altar of the temple that is your body. An offering of gratitude. Noticing what flowers show up for you in this bouquet. I see California poppy, pink roses. I see forget-me-nots. And just allowing yourself to sit for a while and continue to listen to the beautiful temple that is your body. Really honoring it, cherishing it, taking care of it the way you care so much for the earth. I want to thank you for connecting with me, and I hope that this is a beautiful month of rebuilding the temple for you.